in that article that I wrote for the Nation magazine, um, what I did was I showed one instance of that, one particular instance, and what that was um, there was this family that had already been bombed out of their house at one point, and so they had to move to another part of Gaza, and then uh, there was a warning that the Israelis were going to bomb that part of Gaza. So part of the family, the husband and the wife and a couple kids and a cousin got into the car and they began driving through um, part of the city there. They didn't get very far, but they were driving through part of the city to try to escape before the bombs came. And uh, actually, his wife stayed back um, while let me back up. There were members of the family that stayed back who were going to go later, and the father took his wife, children, and one uh, niece to another part of town. Before they could get there, they were stopped by a tank, an Israeli tank. And again, these are just civilians in a car. Um, and so the tank started opening fire with a machine gun, one of these machine guns on the tank, firing at this civilian car with civilians in it. And the little girl in the back, she was only 6 years old. She was the niece. Called her mother, who was back at the house, and told her, that she was in the car. People have been shot. They're shooting at them, and thinks some of them are injured, some are dead, or whatever. So the mother then calls the ambulance to go, try to save them. But the Israelis have this rule where the ambulance can't go anywhere without getting permission from the Israelis. The Israelis took 3 hours before they gave them permission to go to that car, even though it was just on the other side of town. As the ambulance is getting to the car, the woman is still in touch with her daughter, the girl in the car, 6-year-old girl in the car. And the girl in the car says, the tank is coming closer. It's in front of us now. And she's screaming. And then there's this huge explosion. And the girl hears the explosion. The girl on the phone hears the explosion. And what the explosion was the tank firing an anti-tank round into the ambulance, killing the driver and the other medic in the ambulance that were on their way almost to the car. And then and then afterwards, everybody was dead in the car, and it indicated that the tank, or at least a tank, had actually driven over the car with the people in it. Um, you can't get a more horrible story than that. And then I was able to trace the weapons that were used, like the shell that was fired at the ambulance, through the serial number to the actual plant in Iowa that built the bomb, or built the anti-tank round, and to show how there's a direct connection between the American public who are paying for this, the actual people who are working day to day in these plants, and the deaths of innocent civilians who are children and never harmed anybody, and what appears to be the pleasure taken in it. Uh, I mean, if you fired a car, go see who's in it, or whatever, and they don't. They just kill everybody in it, and then they apparently, just for laughs, they drive a tank over it. And then they shoot the ambulance coming to their rescue, blow everybody up with with a shell designed to pierce a tank. Um, so, it's horrible. And you only find that out by almost by accident, because I happened to see a picture there with the uh, serial number on it. Again, that's why, one of the reasons why they don't allow Westerners or Western journalists, Western media, to come into to Gaza, because then you actually witness what's actually going on. You witness tanks shooting at civilian cars and ambulances and all these things. So.